If you haven't heard about Anchor, it is the easiest way to make a podcast. Let me explain. Lawful Stupid just jumped over. First of all, it's free, and we love that. Secondly, there's creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or computer, wherever you're at, all on the go. Anchor will also distribute your podcast for you. There are a lot of other vendors out there, a lot of platforms that they will make sure your podcast gets to. So it can be heard on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and many more. And you can make money from your podcast with zero minimum listenership. It's everything you need to make a podcast all in one place. So download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started.
Hey everybody, and welcome to Campaign 2 of Lawful Stupid. Adventures on the high sea. Glory awaits in the distance. What's that on the horizon? It's eagles. Scree! Joining me is... Oh, wait a second. Oh, fuck. Joining me is... Dwayne Peden. I thought we'd agreed not to bring him back on the show after what he did. It doesn't matter. He's got a contract. Dwayne Peden is joining us again. Dwayne, say hello.
I'm back.
And there's nothing we can do about it.
Nope.
Darn lawyers. No, I'm kidding. Thank you so much, Dwayne, for joining me on this journey where I'm the papa now.
Yeah, you're the boss now. I regret all my past decisions.
How does it feel knowing that I will enact all the horrors that you've applied to me tenfold?
We'll see. We'll see.
And all the boons.
Well, there weren't a lot of those, so
But the ones you got tenfold. Hey.
That's true. You were a dragon for a minute, so
yeah. So you're gonna get to be 10 dragons tied together at the tail, a dragon king, if you will.
Oh, great! I'm excited.
Do you want to get into this?
Yeah, sure, absolutely.
Okay. You want to just really quick tell us about your character?
Yeah, sure. A real quick overview is I'll be playing Emmerich Delmor, which is a gnome man, and I'll be playing an artificer of all things. So I'm pretty excited about that because I typically play mostly spellcasters, so play half-caster is going to be different.
Halfway different.
Yeah, halfway. Well, it's a lot of different when you're looking at the available spell slots. I'm going,
yes.
Really?
Very
just
true.
those? Okay,
just
that's
those
a problem.
ones?
Yeah, okay.
4? Okay.
Yeah, so I mean, I don't want to go super far into his character description because I went super detailed, but basically, he's got like metal armor, even though it's technically leather armor for mechanical, but like it's skinned as a light metal. And he is wearing like very wolf-inspired armor, and he commonly has like a sword and shield that he carries around. And his colors are gray, silver, black, and green, with a nice like long green cloak, and he's got short silver gray hair.
Is he like old?
No, he's not
or
old.
Just the color of his
it's
hair
just
is?
It's just the color of his hair. It's like it's very much a clan thing. Like his whole like the Delmor family.
Whoa!
Yeah, it's very much like the Delmor family, like very inspired by the Timberwolf, and so their colors tend to reflect that.
I got it. I'll tell you, there was a moment where you said he's a gnome, and I was like, he is, because I forgot you're not here anymore.
That's
right.
Like, fuck. Switched, yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, so we're gonna get right into it. So, you and the Primal Knights find yourselves in a forest surrounded by Alliance forces. Now, they're not super talented, relatively, when it comes to things like magic and that. Not these folks. And so they're chasing you through the village, or I'm sorry, rather, correction, through the forest, and you just hear these bombardments going off on either side of you. These explosive shells are being fired into the forest. You're not sure how accurate their accuracy is. Not sure how great their accuracy is, but they seem pretty damn good because you're just being showered in this loose soil and these explosions are going off danger fucking close. As you're journeying with your 3 companions, there is a human woman with golden locks and a tight braid who is wearing this very fancy garb with a long rose pink cape. There's this short dwarf with a big black beard and this brown and dark orange armor. He's got this big helmet that's reminiscent of an elephant's head, and he's just struggling to keep up with his legs. And then you've got almost lithely moving next to you this very graceful air ganassi with long white hair, and he's wearing these large, almost metallic wings that seem to glint and glitter in the bit of sunlight that's coming in through the tree canopy. And it seems like every time he steps, he's giving himself a small little flutter. And you're not sure if it's just because he's an air ganassi or because he's got these wings, but he's having no issues. He's actually, you're running for your lives, but it's almost like he's making sure not to outpace you.
Yeah, that would make sense. So explosions going around, and you talk about debris, so I'm imagining like chunks of wood are flying, and I'm a little guy, so like some of the bigger ones I'm having to like shrug off, and I shout to the knights, and I say, how far are we from getting away from them? I feel like they're not making any distance from them.
We just have to keep going. We just have to keep moving. Come on. You hear the air ganassi call out, and then in front of you there's this huge crash and another explosion as it brings 3 or 4 trees down along the path, and you quickly think to divert, but there's just not enough time, and you start to get tangled and sprawled as you're trying to get over these trees, and then hands come up from behind you, and it's your good friend, who Alexander Reed, this air ganassi, who's slowed back and grabbed you and kind of helps lift you over the debris, and kind of has to do that one by one, slowing your process greatly. And as that happens, the explosions are just getting so close and it seems so dangerous that there's almost this, where all these trees have toppled and this explosion's gone off, there's this crater with a wooden overhang from these fallen trees, and in a moment of just desperation, you guys kind of shove into this hovel, this small, almost bunker in the earth as explosions are still ringing around you, not sure if it's safe to leave.
Quite the foxhole we dug ourselves in.
I've definitely had better vacations, says LVR Rosewood.
I don't understand how they tracked us all down in one area. That doesn't make... Was anybody followed?
And Trent Endar, this dwarf man with the large, big black beard, he kind of sheepishly... Well, you said to recruit, so... I've been putting up posters. I've been talking in bars. Trying to get some new blood.
You what?
I got the new blood, damn it! And he points to a large wound on his arm. He's kind of bleeding profusely. I got the new blood.
That is not what we meant at all.
Sorry.
Trent. Okay, well, we can't change that now.
Well, in my defense, I did not think the Alliance would blow up entire forest. I kind of thought maybe they would send somebody, they'd have stern words, we'd tell them to fuck off, and then we keep doing what we're doing, and we could do that like 10 times, and then eventually they'd be like, okay, now we're going to stab you. No, they do not play jokes.
Friend, I really... Okay, yeah, I'm...
It's really your fault for not giving more clear instructions.
I thought I was pretty clear. Recruit knights, there's a cause. However, the Alliance is pretty fucking terrible and everywhere, so we don't want them to know?
Well, you said want, you did not see me. So, if you could be more open and honest with the declaration of your wants and needs, then maybe in future
Okay.
Just speak your truth.
Okay, fair, but let's just clear something up. We don't kill people, right? Like, you are still on board with that. We're protectors of the innocent, and we don't intentionally kill people?
Maybe in the eyes of your respective dog, maybe not all people are innocent. Maybe we all have... Yes, I'm not killing people. That's crazy. And as he says that, another tree kind of explodes, and there's this shower of splinters and dirt. And you guys are covered up by Sir Rosewood, whose cloak kind of spreads out above her and becomes this shield above you all, and kind of dampens you from most of the loose debris.
Thank you.
You're the one who made it.
Yeah, right, but you used it so well. I don't think we can stay here. I'm not sure that it's safe for us to stay together.
What are you saying?
This is one of the few times we've gathered, and for such a large force to meet, I'm not sure that it makes sense for us to stay together. I don't know that we'll be able to outrun them alone.
And Sir Reed speaks up. Are you suggesting some sort of separation, retreat? What's the plan, Delmor?
Well, truthfully, I've got the most experience with the Alliance. If I lead them away, you all can run different directions. There's so many places to go. There are so many people that the Alliance has oppressed and tortured and destroyed. There have to be more people out there, and if we move smaller and quieter, I think we can recruit more and meet back up.
Rosewood kind of nods, and she's kind of biting the end of her knuckle, and she goes, "No, it makes sense. If we can separate, then our odds of success are greater, and should we fail, our losses are not as grievous."
Yeah, Rosewood, what was that place you were telling me about? That place that no Alliance has ever been before.
You're talking about the Meridian Menagerie.
Yes. In a year's time, we meet there. We find it. If they can't, we surely can, right?
I mean, yes, it shouldn't be an issue for anybody who's not with the Alliance. I mean, that's what the stories say. I was there once, as a young girl. It's a circus. Quite literally.
You see Emmerich kind of like, when she says, like, anybody who's not part of the Alliance can get in, he kind of like you can see the weight on his face, and he's, like, actively, right? Like actively with the Alliance?
I don't know how it works, Delmor.
Okay. Well, I guess that's something we'll have to figure out.
I'm sure it'll be fine.
Just remember.
And then another loud cacophony of blast. It's like 3 shots in rapid succession fall very near you.
Yeah, and I imagine like we can start to see like the foxhole kind of like breaking and caving in where the shield isn't. Like, because I imagine the shield is above us, right? So like
it's above us, but it's really only covering
like, suffer these mortar shells.
Yeah, so it's close, but not that close to the point where you would have the walls cave in. The shield above you isn't really providing any sort of stability, but just keeping the debris off of you.
Okay,
but it's close.
Gotcha. And so I look to the others and I say, just when you're out there recruiting, remember, we're out here to protect the weak. Right? We're here to help. Just remember what you stand for.
Rosewood kind of puts her hand across her chest in a fist as a salute. Says, "I stand as the unicorn because the love and hope that I inspire are pure and rare and deserve to be protected." Indar kind of bristles up, all proud like a dwarf. And, "I stand as the elephant because I will never forget the atrocities committed by the Alliance. And Reed speaks up, kind of just gently tilting his head forward. I stand as the eagle, because I must remind the people of this world that they were born not to be bound down to the ground. People were born to fly.
And so I kind of like motion over to the edge of the foxhole that we kind of dug ourselves in, and this whole time I've had this like robotic wolf with us, who's always been at my side, and I kind of look at him, and we both look up, and I kind of motion for Rosewood to make room, and I look up and I say, I stand as the wolf to remind people that only together as a pact can we survive and protect one another. Now go! And Ryder and I like leap up out of the foxhole and like head towards the Alliance that was chasing us.
You do, and as you run, I think maybe you spare one glance behind you as you're kind of running for your life, and you see your three companions all darting out in opposite directions. And you run. And you run, and you run, and you're running towards this incoming fire, and you don't know how they're doing it, but they're finding you. They know. You would think that with artillery they would especially be firing further and further away, but for whatever reason, the shots are now coming closer to the source. It's almost as if they're following you. And then as you run alongside Ryder, you notice they're not. They're not following you. They're following Ryder. He's the target.
And as I see that, I kind of like stop. Like I just do a hard stop, and Ryder just knows to like stay with me, and he halts, and I look at him, and very, very much like a wounded soldier looking at a companion who got him through like some of the hardest times. I look at him and I pull my sword from my sheath and say, I'm really sorry about this boy. And I think Ryder like makes like a kind of noise, and then I like puncture through like his neck and slice up, and I pull, and so I essentially decapitate Ryder. And I watch like all the lights and the whirring gizmos and gadgets kind of fall silent. And I like put him into my bag and run. I like put his head, to be clear, in my bag and run.
Yeah. I think that when you do that, the bombardment stops. And it's quiet for a while. All you can really hear is your own breathing and your own footsteps as you kind of scramble through this forest. And then you hear a low whistle on the wind. And a familiar female voice say, loudly, and obviously enhanced with some sort of magic, Wolf, you can't outrun me. Wolf, where are you going? And every time this voice comes in, it sounds like it's directly behind you. Like, immediately behind you. And it doesn't sound like a shouting or anything like that. It sounds like it's there.
I'm like in full on sprint. Like, if you've ever seen like a child like straddling or like trying to climb things, like my armor has like claws on the hands and feet, and like I'm essentially like 4 feet running. Like if something's in my way, I'm using my hands to like push or hurdle me, because like I'm a smaller guy anyways. Like I'm moving as fast as I can. Like,
Wolf, you seem tired.
You're not going to catch me.
Maybe not, Wolf. But I'll definitely catch your friends.
And like he like stops at that, like hard stops, and then kind of like slides forward and turns back towards where he thinks this voice is coming from. And he says, "You'll have to go through me first.
Oh no, that's where you're wrong, Wolf. I think I see... Oh, is that a sparrow in my sights? No. Too large, must be an eagle. I can deal with that. And you see and you hear in the distance, boom! A single artillery shot. Oh! And a very small elephant, that must be unique. Boom! Another artillery shot. Oh, and my eyes must deceive me, is that? Oh, it can't be a unicorn. Boom! Another artillery shot. What to do with this wolf, though? A wolf without a pack. I think I'll go hunting. So I'll chase Wolf. You run.
And he kind of looks up, right, because he's seeing flashes as these artillery shells go off, and he's hearing these echoes of her voice, and you can see like the tears in his eyes, like he like staunchly doesn't believe Rose would die. Like he knows like she's got that cape, but he's real worried about Indar and Reed, and he runs, and like you can just like see him running just full blown away from the Alliance. They've got to be alive. They've got to be alive. They're going to be there.
You run. And you're able to make it away. Nobody catches up to you. You have some trouble sleeping for a while, I think. I think that you move for longer than your body would like. I think that you hop on ships and go to different islands and never stay in one place for too long, doing your job, spreading your ideals, recruiting, without much luck. Because it almost feels, I think, correct me if I'm wrong, I think it feels wrong to recruit anyone until you know they're safe. So I don't think your heart's exactly in it, because it almost feels like you would be replacing them. And that can't be true, because they've got to be okay. And I think that goes on for about a year. Yes?
Yeah, I was gonna say, like his worry that they weren't actually alive, it kind of like kept him from like believing in their calls again. It kind of like put him a step back. Absolutely. From his past.
And I think that a year goes by, and I think it's time. It's time to make your way to the menagerie. In any time in the last year, did you go there ahead of time just to see if you could make it, or?
No, he wouldn't have wanted. Like, he would be like collecting information about it to like make sure he's like not trying to go in blind in the last few days. But he would have never gone to risk it. He's already been like, and he wouldn't have rebuilt Ryder either. I mean, for fear of being trapped or caught, and he just would have avoided it completely.
Yeah, and I think that a year comes and you set out to sea a small vessel that you can handle yourself, or are you chartering a ship?
No, small vessel. I mean, because he's an inventor, he takes like a very small craft and modifies it to make it easy and to make it kind of quick and as silent as possible using technology. I mean, there's only so much you can do.
I think that you arrive in the menagerie, which is a sight to behold in and of itself. It's this huge wooden city amidst the ocean, and like the whole way of finding it was kind of like nonsensical. Like when you asked people where you could find it, you were just giving a bearing, and you would ask someone else and they would give you a bearing. It would be the same one, and you'd go through, and nobody could actually really tell you where to go. But no matter where you went, even though your location changed, they gave you the same bearing, which would make sense. But whatever, you have to see, right?
Yeah, I think definitely like after a couple days of like sailing towards that bearing, it very much like you have that moment of like, I'm insane for following these instructions.
Yeah, absolutely, and maybe you are, but whether it's something that you're just seeing or something that's really there, you see this huge wooden, and it's made out of just nonsense. I'll be honest with you. It's like a wooden howls moving castle of bullshit. It's just ships cobbled together with parapets and like what appears to be an actual stone castle at one point. There's crow's nests adorning all over the sprawling city, like each one taller than the other one, just all through, not in any sort of order that would make sense from, as you know, as kind of a tactical minded person, like a military standpoint. They're just there. And you see this strange structure, and there's a dock.
Yeah, so I would dock and board and try and find the other knights.
You see a lot of things. You see a lot of mummers. You see a lot of performers, jugglers, fire eaters. You see sword swallowers. You see all kinds of performers, but no higher hair your friends.
And so this is a pretty large city, right?
Oh, it's huge, but there's one docking area.
Yeah, so I think I would search the dock, and I think I would search the closest end to the dock, because that logically that's what I think they would do. And when I don't find them, I think I would spend some time in the next day or two, like searching the city for them.
Well, I'll tell you this: on your first day, as kind of the sun begins to set, maybe you're at the dock. Maybe because you think that's the central point, and this would be where they would have to come through as you're kind of waiting in the sun setting. You hear a voice pop up from behind you. Oh, Emmerich?
Yes?
Yeah, I got a letter for you.
Okay.
And you see a young man, who appears to be a courier. He's got a postal satchel on him. He told out a letter. He hands it to you, and it's got your name written on it, and just beautiful, like this silver calligraphy.
Yeah, so I take it, and for continuity sake, my armor is like kind of covered with like a green tabard and cloak. And I don't have like on my claw gauntlets and stuff, like I'm trying to hide.
I was told you'd be wearing a fancy get-up, but you're still here, so figured it might be you.
Thanks. And I look at this letter. Do I recognize like the handwriting? I mean, I either do or don't. I don't want to make it complicated.
Not really.
Okay, cool.
I mean, it's handwriting. It's your name.
Yeah, it's either gonna really stick out or not. So
you recognize the seal.
Okay, what's the seal?
It's the head of a hound.
Oh, fuck. Fuck. As I open it and read the letter.
It's just a single letter. Just plain print. Not many words on there. Run faster, Wolf.
You fucking bitch. And I like crumble that letter up and then put it in my pack.
And then you go back to your lodging?
Yeah, I would go back to wherever I was like renting a room for the night.
Yeah, you do. That's nothing else untoward, just a letter. And your friends did not arrive.
Neat.
The next day comes.
Yeah, I mean, like for Emmerich, if he didn't find his friends, he would at least search the surrounding area, like what he could search in a day.
Just look at what I mostly described. It's a lot of performers.
Yeah.
I mean, there's casinos. There's all kinds of stuff, but nothing.
Sure, you don't have to I was saying he would search for a day, and if he doesn't find them, he would go back to his ship and then depart, to furthering his. If he's not actively pushing or protecting or helping in an area, he's not staying there long.
Yeah.
And so he goes and he departs.
And you find your way back to the mainland. I think that it's kind of par for the course at this point. It's a lot of hiding on your part. I think it's a lot of, like you said, you can't really wear, your armor in public because people will know, but you're still trying to recruit, you're still trying to further your cause and your ideals, still trying to, I mean, I don't want to say that, this is a second year mired in failure. I think that you're moving. I think that you help a lot of people, I think, in small ways.
Yeah, so I think that's all very right. To be clear, people wouldn't recognize him by his armor, like most people. But he wears that. Specifically,
the people that are looking for you.
Right. He doesn't commonly wear his armor unless he knows he's going to get into a scrap. Like, he tries to put it on him in front of him ahead of time. Because, like, the people that would notice his armor, he wouldn't necessarily notice them first.
Exactly.
Yep. Okay. Just so, like, I really wanted, like, the audience to understand that.
Yeah.
That he's not,
I understand.
Globally
it's not like,
wanted.
oh, you are the wolf. Welcome to our city. It's
right. Exactly.
Yeah. But it's very much like a guy reading a newspaper scroll.
Yeah. Exactly.
With a trilby pirate hat, and he looks up from it, and he's like, "I've spotted the wolf."
Yeah. Exactly.
He says into his stone of far speech, which is in his ear, and he has to put his finger on his ear to activate it.
I love it. I'm into it.
But I think that you spend the year doing generally good and protecting people, and I think that there's like a small village or small island beset by bandits or pirates or what, and I think that you do good where you can.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
And that's kind of like a year.
Yep. And so I at the end of that year, on the same day, I want to go back to the menagerie. So I do the same bullshit. Follow the same bearing, and this time it's not as frustrating because like I know that it'll happen, but it still doesn't. I feel like it took longer this time.
Yeah.
And so I go back and I look at them again on the same day that we should have met a year ago.
Yeah, and I think that waiting for you, a different guy, but it's a courier.
And I think he like notices me before he speaks, and I look at him and say, "A letter."
Ah, he must be Emmerich.
Yes.
Yeah, I sure got one for you. Right? That's weird, man. I gotta know the guy. We're kind of talking like, this day after dark, there'll be a man. Like, come on, what's the deal?
Yeah. Long story, really.
You know what? It's none of my business. I'm here to just deliver your mail and you have a great day.
I tip him. It's not his fault.
He kind of like moves off to the side like he's walking away, but you can tell he's kind of like still looking.
Yeah, I open the letter. I assume it has the same seal.
It sure does. It just says, "Run farther, wolf."
And you can like, if anybody was, you can hear him like biting down so hard, like you can kind of hear his teeth grind a little bit as he like crumbles up another letter and puts it in his pack. And then he spends the day searching. And if he doesn't find them, he gets back in his boat and he departs.
You go to leave the next day.
Okay.
And everybody's the dock is like closed. Like there's nobody there, and you notice this is eerie. And I mean, I guess you maybe you inquire as to that.
Yeah, I mean, if the dock was closed and I couldn't get to my boat, I'd have a whole lot of questions.
I mean, you could. There's just nobody there.
Oh, okay. So it's like a ghost town, essentially.
It's like a ghost town.
I may see one person going to their boat, but it's not like normally staffed.
Not even that.
Oh,
not even one single person.
If I'm heading towards the dock and it's ghost town, there ain't nobody. I'm on full alert.
Yeah,
like because he has like, got a level of paranoia. So if something like that comes in, because he's been hunted for so long, he's like.
So you do. I'll tell you. You notice this one. Every place where a boat can dock is occupied, and you saw people as you were leaving the inn. You saw people on the city streets, and they seem joyous. They seem excited.
Yeah.
But when you get to the docks, it's just fucking nothing.
That's my point, right? When I get down to the docks, and after I like, because I think he like heads down to wherever he's going, but as soon as he hits the docks and like it's super apparent that there's nobody else, I think his first thing he does is like slide his hands into his bag and just slide on his gloves real quick, and he just real alert and real at the ready as he heads towards his boat.
The silence is like palpable. And you hear in the distance, not really clear at first, and it gets louder and louder and louder. And you hear these voices, this group chanting, this chorus. It says, everybody, clap those hands. That's where we're getting the session.
Okay.
And everybody, if you want to find out what happens next, you're going to listen to the Campaign 2 premiere, the first new episode of a brand new campaign. I'm going to be there. Devin's going to be there. Star's going to be there. Ray's going to be there. Our newest cast member. We're very excited. That's pretty much... Oh, Dwayne's dead. Dwayne's character just died. That was what that clapping was. It was 2 bombs going off. No, Dwayne will be there. It's going to be a whole lot of fun, and we're excited to go on a new journey with you. Ahoy, mateys. Are you excited, Dwayne?
I'm super excited. I wasn't expecting all of this. I'm fucking super stoked. I can't wait.
Yeah, I didn't... We planned these things a little bit because they're a narrative experience. We're not exactly actual playing yet. We didn't plan that.
We did not.
We did not plan that. That was pretty good. I got little goose pimples.
That makes 2 of us. And a whole lot of hurt for my boy.
A whole lot of hurt for your boy. You killed your... Hey! You know, like in movies where the worst thing that can happen is the dog dies?
Oh, dude, that was hard.
Remember that scene in I Am Legend?
That's kind of the vibe I got. Like when I was like, I gotta fucking take this thing offline.
If only you'd installed like an off switch.
Well, I wouldn't trust that.
That should be in version 2.0. Well, you gotta get it with like a pin. It's like
I'm sorry, I know that those things can be remotely turned back on.
That's fair. Thank you so much, Jane, for joining me. Thank you so much for joining me, listeners, and we're excited to see you again.
Absolutely.
You know what time it is, Dwayne?
Bye!
We love you, bye!